question we are asking you is, should eviction in Mao be halted until boundaries are determined? Joining us here live in the studio, he just walked in literally from Citizen Television and we grabbed him on his way out because most of the Mao is in his county. Narok County Senator, my good friend Ledama Kina. Senator, karibu sana.
My dear brother, thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
We'll talk about your afro another day.
Akili ni mali, bro.
Kila mtu ana yake.
Kila mtu ana yake.
So listen, you have been very outspoken with this whole Mao issue, obviously, because it's at the heart of not only your being, you know, you grew up around the Mao.
Absolutely.
It's in your county.
It is in my county. Jeff, I reminisce in the time when I was growing up, when the rivers were flowing, when we used to grow our crops from January to January, we had no issues. Even when the heavy rains come, the levels of waters will rise up, but they will not be destructive. Right now, the human activities, greed by ministers, the greed by politicians is almost coming to the complete destruction of our existence as human beings. Not only in Masai Mara, in Masai Mao, not only in Narok, but even here in Nairobi. When you look at the way, the patterns of rains, global warming, all these things, these are very sensitive matters. And Jeff, they normally say facts are very stubborn. They're very, very stubborn, my brother. We have commissions over commissions. When you go back and read the history of the Mao, way back in the 1960s, when the Maasais decided to adjudicate their different sections, they say, we want to own land individually and hold other land in trust. At that time, they recognized the importance of the forest. They cut out the forest and they never touched it. Then they set up 5 group ranches. Other group ranches were small as 400 acres. Others were as big as 2,000 acres. But now, human activities, encroachment of the forest began. Remember, back in 1932, the people who lived in that forest were the Ndorobo, the Ogiek. You know, we've got to give credit to them. Yeah. There are few people. Then the government in 2001 recognized the importance of these people because it was sparsely distributed. So they decided to excise about 65,000 acres to be able to settle the 9,000 families. That is where all this nonsense began. People who were not supposed to get land were given land. Then, when you go back into the 1986, the president, in fact, in 1984, Moi himself had started evicting people from the Mao. Nobody is talking about that. For 2 years, 84 to 86, people were evicted from the Mao. And then, in 1989, Moi set up the Presidential Commission to look at the boundaries of the Mao forest. The former minister, I think he was an assistant minister, the late Senior Chief Lerionko Lentutu was the head of that commission. They came up with a very clear boundary. They said, these are the group ranches, which were 5 of them, they get up to here. And then from there, this is trust land. There are 23 blocks in the Mao. One of them is a Masai Mao. The other one is Olpusumoru Mao, and another one is the Transmara block. At the Olpusumoru area, there are no adjudication sections. 4 of them were created. Now, you go in, Yusuf Haji, Halake, you go in, people like Kinuthia Mbugwa, you go people like Gideon Arap Moi, Sami Mwaita, my good friend Hosea Kiplagat. All of these people now were given land, and they were not from that area. When you read the list of the people who were given that land, illegally, in fact, if anybody wants to be able to know where the boundary is, the answers are very simple. In 2005, I think, there was the Prime Minister Commission to try and put all this thing into perspective. It clearly listed everyone who acquired land. Everyone. So this nonsense you're hearing of a cut line is something which is being put by the people who acquired land illegally. Jeff, my name is Ledama Kina. There's no way my name is going to be Ledama K. There's no way my name is going to be Olekina L. Sami Mwaita, who was a commissioner of lands, gave himself like 50 different parcels of land, changing the order of his name. Sami Mwaita, SK Mwaita, all these things, uses the same ID. These are facts. And facts are very stubborn, bro.
Bottom line, I mean, you know, when I saw things starting to go south is when they put a tea plantation inside the Mao.
Ridiculous. Schools. They build schools there to
inside the Mao.
It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. And this is why you're hearing this argument of a cut line. There is nothing like a cut line, bro. Nothing.
So bottom line, should the eviction stop or
Never. They should proceed, man.
Proceed.
For posterity, for our own existence. When very soon we'll all cease to exist in this country.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. When you live in Narok, particularly Narok town, right now, which is in the bottom pit. You know, Maasais, let me tell you, Jeff, Maasais are very clever. When the British came in and they wanted to set up a town, and they looked at everywhere, and they told them, go down in that ditch, in that hollow pot and put your town. Because they didn't want the environment to be destroyed. Okay? And that time, the floods will come, but they will not destroy. But subsequent years with the human destructions, it brought about the floods in Narok now. Okay? And that's why everybody's saying, oh, let's move the town, let's move the town. How many times are you going to move the town?
Exactly.
You know, you move the town because you've destroyed the environment upstream. Even where you move the town, you'll destroy another environment elsewhere.
And you have to move again.
And then you have to move again.
So what Murkomen is doing, first of all, going against his boss, literally in public, and then now they're sending Mabatis out to rebuild and put the people back. What is that?
I think, you know what, it's very, very sad because, and I gave this quote that says that man is a very insane creature. He worships a God that he have never seen. Yet he destroys an environment that he sees, not knowing that the environment that he's destroying is a God that he worships. What Murkomen did is absolutely ridiculous. He flew there, he doesn't understand the issues of the Mao, has no clue completely about the issues of the Mao. This is 2022 politics at play. You know, I was actually baffled. I was actually in Kilaguni working on a report on the Solai tragedy. And then people are calling me, telling me, boss, where are you? Murkomen is here. As a courtesy, if I want to go to Mbutput forest, the first person I will talk to is Murkomen. He's a senator.
Your colleague in the Senate.
He's a senator of that area. So I even called him, he called me, and I said that is absolutely disrespectful. And what you're doing is not right. You need to understand that right now you have so much. But there's a saying that says, those who have so much have so little. And those who have so little have so much. The only thing that the Maasais have, the Maasais have been in opposition for all these years. All of a sudden, the government is picking what the Maasais want. This is an opportunity for the government to get all the Maasais to them. And now the Maasais are supporting the government move. So we were like baffled. We said, oh my God, is Jubilee broken down in two? Is there like Jubilee A and Jubilee B? Those are the things that shocked us. So we support the president. We support Cabinet Secretary without a portfolio position, Tuju, when he said that this thing has got to happen. You know? We want to go back to a clean environment, Jeff.
Okay, you also quoted as saying the Maasai should take up their spears. What did you mean by that?
I'm not quoted as saying the Maasai should take up the spears. This is what I said. This was in a different setting. There was a motion which was brought on the floor of the House. It talked about local content, where companies are coming in and setting up in our land, yet not a single Maasai is being employed. So the question that I posed out there is that if you do not employ the locals, what exactly do you want them to do? Do you want them to take up their spears and do what they used to do a long time ago and become Morans and roam around? Times have changed. So sometimes we have this issue of sensationalization, where you want to take what someone has said out of context. So the issue of the spear, the Hansard will bear me witness. I know I got into a fight with my colleagues in the Senate, but I told them, gentlemen, because you know, sometimes, let me tell you what happens in that house. Sometimes when somebody is out there, debating, other people are consulting. So they consult in low tone, in higher tones. So the only thing they hear, spear. And everybody's like, huh? You're saying Maasai should pick up spears. So that is the challenge that we have, my brother. Yes.
Bottom line, with this Mao issue, I mean, it's not going to go away anytime soon. But what should be done right? If the president was listening to you right now, What would you tell him?
Let me tell you what I would tell my dear good friend, Mr. President. I would tell him, think about the future of this country. Talking about the Big Four agenda. One of them includes housing.
That's right. Affordable housing for all.
Affordable housing for all. One of them includes issues of making land affordable, cheap. I would tell the president, we've got parts of this country which have no one is living in them. People are all concentrated in small areas. I would tell them, do this. Go set up new centers, new towns, and move the people there. Conserve our environment. Jeff, you and I lived in America.
That's right.
People lived together. And then most of the rural land was left for farming.
Agriculture.
For agriculture, for conservation.
And you would wonder if you're driving down the New Jersey Turnpike or in Kansas or wherever you were,
yeah,
you see tracts and tracts and tracts of land.
Yes.
For agriculture.
Absolutely. It is the same thing in Russia. It is the same thing in Serbia. In the United Kingdom, where it is small,
South
people
Africa.
come together. South Africa. So I think bringing the people together. At one point, I tried that in the Masai Mara, because I could see the importance of conservation. I could see the importance of tourism. So the one thing that I wanted to do was to say, how much land do we have here? We have maybe 200,000 or 300,000 acres. I said, you know what? Let's take 20,000 acres, cut it down. Let's put basics, services, sewage system. Let's put hospital. Let's put roads and all that stuff. Move everyone there. Give them small 5 acres, 5 acres. Have everyone living together. Once these people are living together, you have a lot of land out there that you can conserve. Jeff, if I could afford, every weekend I would fly to Mzima Spring and just sit there. It's so beautiful.
And peaceful.
So peaceful.
Yeah.
The water is flowing. When you see that water, you see the crocs, you see the fish inside, blue, beautiful. Then you're like, oh my God. And this is what I grew up with.
And this is what we're destroying.
And this is what we're destroying. I mean, I'm sure Herbert Hughes was right, saying man is insane. We just need to correct that, bro.
Gongukia says, Narok Senator Ledama Kina, talking sense, very genuine.
Thank you, bro.
James J. Motush says, the eviction should go on. It's time we stand up against all this nonsense.
Absolutely.
And again, Ledama, when you look around and you see this country of ours destroying itself, this is what we're strangling ourselves.
Self-destruction mode, bro.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. I mean, what goes through your mind? I mean, you're a senator, you're a lawmaker, you're out there where, you're a decision maker. What goes through your mind?
It baffles me. And that is the reason why my agility and dedication to service is really up there. I spend most of the time thinking about legislations. But there's a big problem we have. Like right now, there's a small nonsense war brewing between the members of the National Assembly, a few members of the National Assembly, and who are attacking the Senate because the Senate is doing their job. Earlier on I said, these members of the National Assembly, it has to become mandatory for them. I didn't use the word mandatory, but now I'm going to use it here. For them to take a course in Political Science 101.
Because they have no clue.
They have no clue. What system of governments do you have? Do we have a presidential system? Do we have a parliamentary system? Do we have a blend? They have no clue, bro. They sit down there and they say, oh, the Senate is not doing their job. Or the Senate is investigating. Even cabinet secretary are coming in and saying, well, we are tired of appearing between a Senate committee. We are tired of appearing in a National Assembly committee. In a presidential system, anyone can Google. When Google was being investigated, Google appeared both in the Senate committee. It appeared in the Congress.
That's right.
Okay?
Yeah.
In the House of Representatives. They were being asked. There are issues that are being investigated that may not be captured by one house.
Correct.
So we support, like now, if it is a criminal element, we support the office of the ODPP by giving him different perspectives. So he's got the more the merrier. Someone once told me that if you copy from one source and you refer to that one source, that is called plagiarism.
Correct.
If you copy from different sources, that is called research. So because you will be picking the brain of many people. What these people need to realize is that there's a level of integrity that we have. I want to be counted as among the few leaders who are out to bring sanity into the matters of this country.
Absolutely. Cyrus Ruchi says, my senator gives us a breakdown of what's going on in Opusimoro. You mentioned that.
Yes.
In relation to the conservation of
Opusimoro. Let me tell you something about Opusimoro. Opusimoro was a section which was considered trust land. When that part was put in as a trust land, forest cover, only forest, because it was all the way up in the upper stream.
Right.
What happened then is that there were 4 adjudication sections which were illegally adjudicated on. And this is where you see all these people, Kina, Yusuf Haji, who used to be the provincial administration, is a senator now. People like Kinuthi Mbogwa, who used to be
governor.
I think, but before governor, he used to be like
administration police.
Yes, he's given land. You see Halake, some guy called Halaki. You see Sami Mwai.
They all have land in there.
These people were now given land there. These were illegal activities. I keep telling people 2 things. One, go back and look at the Director of Survey boundary. This nonsense of cut line is a cut line brought by people who have acquired land illegally to say that this is our land.
Should the titles be taken from them?
What title? Who gave you the title? Who gave you the title? Jeff, if I come now to your hood and I decide I'm going to cut half of your land and I'm going to call that a cut line, and I start dishing out, I subdivide and I sell.
Yeah.
Whose land is that? Was it my land, or was I? In fact, these people should be arrested.
You're encroaching on my land.
Should be prosecuted.
Yeah.
We should go back. Let me tell you, if in democracies such as the United States of America, in China, I don't know whether you can call China a democracy, people are prosecuted for things that they did way in the back. Yeah. Bill Cosby is a very good example. What happened in Bill Cosby? People came out and they said he used to molest us. He used
30 years later.
20, 30 years later. I think what the president ought to do is to go back and say in the 80s, in the 90s, who was the commissioner of land? All this nonsense, you are the one who caused. Let him be answerable.
Senator, if we can...
Now, on the issue of Opusimoro again, this is why I'm saying what Murkomen did is absolutely ridiculous. Because what Murkomen did is that he now gave an opportunity for even the Maasai people themselves to fight among themselves. Because as a politician, I want to be able to control, to say, I have X number of votes. But sometimes because of this nonsense of clanism, my clan may be smaller. So what I do is that I want to protect the people who have encroached into the forest for them to be able to vote for me, because in the event that there's a by-election, I will be able to get those votes. So what happened in Opusimoro recently? There were 2 MCAs who fought. One is a current sitting MCA, the other one is a former MCA. Allegedly, what happened was that the current MCA went in and he heard that there was a destruction of the forest. So when he went in and he was questioning people as, what exactly are you guys doing? You're destroying here. One of the people that he was questioning called the former MCA. So the former MCA came in. When he came in, a brawl just broke out. People started fighting and said, look, because he is protecting his voters, this guy is trying to go with what the government is saying. So this issue might not only become a tribal issue within different tribes, but it might actually even be able to now start dividing the Maasais. And I'm not saying, Jeff, that the Maasais are 100% in the right. There are those Mabwenyenyes of the Maasais who acquired land illegally. There are those who got land and were not members of those group ranches. Those are equally guilty.
Look, if the government can allegedly buy land 3 times over, as in Ruaraka,
you don't want to know about Ruaraka, bro. I sit in that committee of inquiry, and I can tell you, with the information that we have, oh man, it is mind-boggling.
Are you serious?
Yes. You wait until you read our report.
Is it coming out?
Oh my God, yes it is. We just finished on the Solaya one. You wait until you read that. And what I assure Kenyans is that as long as I sit in a committee, and I know as long as Mutula Kilonzo sits in that committee, I know as long as Sakaja sits in that committee, I know as long as the lady called Sylvia Kasanga, Moses Kajwang, these are men and women of integrity, people I know will be able to say, let us be judged by future generation for what we've done today, but not by the size of our pockets.
Absolutely. Good man. Senator Ledama Kina, Senator from Narok County, county number
033.
033. Good to see you, my brother.
Thank you, bro.
Well done, man.
Appreciate it.
Maybe I should get you on JKL and
I would love
and your other guys. I heard that strong statement he made the other day.
No, it's absolutely great guy.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for him.
And S3 as well.
You know, fantastic. I mean, Sakaji is an amazing guy, and I hope the people of Nairobi will recognize how much he has done for this county. I love the fact that he has defended the president. You know, we are defending the president. The president is doing a very good job.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the last time you and I were in JKL, I was in the resist movement.
You were on the other side.
Man, listen, what the president is doing, and I want to commend him for doing it, is standing for the truth. And Jeff, let me tell you, heads will roll.
Heads will roll.
Heads will roll. You'll see a few cabinet secretaries being kicked out. You'll see a few cabinet secretaries being prosecuted.
Good.
Because when you know what they normally say in America?
Yeah, when
S hit the F.
They say when the feces hits the air conditioner.
The air conditioner, exactly. Let me tell you, it's like everybody for himself and God for us all. And that is exactly what is happening now. You'll be surprised. You watch, tomorrow is Thursday.
Yes.
Be on the lookout. You might see somebody who will appear in our committee, not by invitation, but by him saying, I want to appear to clear my name.
Oh my.
You know?